All right, in the back of the little Cushman deal here, we've got several projects we can be working on. We've got some Freddy parts, but that's going to be in its own video because I got more Freddy parts today in the mail. So we're going to work on a saw again. I know everybody's excited about saws, but I got some modification stuff for this. So that's what we're going to do right after this. Welcome back. If you haven't seen my videos before, I'm Ross the Oliver Man. This is the 170 Stihl saw. And in one of the other videos, we did some work on it. I explained that, well, for one, it doesn't have the metal bumper spikes. And also, it has the front adjuster. So I got to thinking I'd like to put the metal bumper spikes on it. Got to looking on the internet, and somebody was selling this handy little kit that has the bumper spike, but also has a changeover kit to put the adjuster back on the side through that hole like the other saw. So I think I'm going to go with that because I think that would be a lot more handy. So that's what I'm going to do here. Now, if I had the 550 handy, I would have all the stuff I need, you know, the chainsaw tool. But I don't have that handy, so we're gonna just use regular tools. Part of why we need to be down here at the truck is that bumper spike, I think, has star-headed bolts that came with it. So yeah, you know what I'm saying. And I imagine that there will be some cleaning necessary here. Again, chain oiler's working good. That's good. All right, dealer's choice. What should we start with? Well, we know our bumper spike is going to go in some of those holes there. And we can see that they are in fact plugged with dirt, or at least one of them is. So we're going to have to remedy that problem first. This one's a through hole. So I'm not real sure if they're just supposed to be like, do they just thread into the plastic? We're learning, friends. We're learning how this kit works. Probably would be good to get the right thing. T30, T27, maybe? I guess those are just like self-tappers into the plastic. That's bound to work good, isn't it? It did work good, I have to say. Okay, well, that fixed my issue of this plastic behind it not being very good. So I'm on board with that. That works good. Now, it's the Zatz-Kettenspanteile, the chain tensioner kit. So we're going to need to get this out of the bag first. And I think it's pretty self-explanatory what happens here. But basically, we're going to pop this one out. Oh, there we go. Come on. See, that's just like a dummy. I think it's the same plastic piece. Well, no, it can't be, because this one's got a place for stuff and things to happen. We're gonna have to... Isn't it amazing how dirt gets behind every single surface? It's not really dirt, it's sawdust and oil mixed together. I feel like that hole is not really open. Yeah, because if there's one thing we've learned, brake clean and plastic get along so well together. So well. There's junk in there though. What I'm afraid of is if I don't work and try to clean this out good, that screw's not gonna tighten up all the way, because it won't be able to go to the bottom. You know what I'm saying? All right. This should just be a drop-in fit. Sweet. That's gonna be so much more better. Now, were they smart enough to make that the same size? I think they were. There. I think we got us something, friends. Another fact, I guess, while we're talking about chainsaws, and you can see right here the oiler thing and how that was going, is well, let me not do this while I talk. If you think that it's putting out too much oil, well, that's because you probably got a smaller bar on the saw. The oiler's more likely set up for the biggest bar that they recommend for your saw. So if you got a small bar, it's probably just drenched in oil. But then when you got the longer of the bars that they say, you know what I mean, then it's less oil, because it's feeding the longer bar. Oh, see, now I gotta clean that out, because we're using that. We're using that hole now. Come on. Come on. I'd say that'll do her. Yep. I'd say we got us something, friends. We got a bumper spike now that's actually metal. And we got us the whole shebang. I'm actually thinking on that 180 saw, I think I can buy the kit to not only, I could buy another side cover like this, and then buy this same kit, put the bumper spike on the side tensioner, and do away with that stupid quick adjust tensioner thing, because it always comes loose. It seems like it does not. That was a good idea maybe for a homeowner, but not if you want to seriously use it for anything. So, I don't know. But after all the comments I got on other videos, I might have to buy more of these, because there's some sizes I'd like to try out of them, you know? Like a 361, that might be one that would replace these little ones. I don't know. But she's ready to go now. All right, down here in our makeshift saw shop, we have actually 4 saws. There's another one behind me. This one doesn't have a chain, so we're gonna set it aside. The Super EZ. But some of these I think have the potential to run, and we're gonna try it. But I wanna do a few things first. This one says good on it, so I assume that it will run. This is a Super XL. So what I want to do though first is, I guess on all of these, I want to pull the plug on them and make sure that we got, you know, spray it down with some lube in there, and then also make sure that we actually have spark before I go pulling my guts out on it. Because that's the only thing I don't like about saws, is when they don't run. That ain't my thing, you know, when I gotta work hard to get them to go. But this one does oil. It, the manual oiler does work. And I see now, though, it's acting up. It probably needs a new O-ring in it, which we need to do to the old blue saw. Give it a little bit of oil. It sounds good though. I mean, it sounds like it's got compression. Let's try this and see what it does. I mean, it's got a newer spark plug in it, so I would say that this is gonna go. But I thought old blue was gonna go too, and it didn't. So, you know, we could have carburetor issues on this one's what I'm saying. Oh, you look at that. Good spark. Good spark. I would say this one will run. This one should probably get a full restore, because it's cosmetically pretty rough, but alright, so we're going to put that one in the take outside and try here in a second pile, because I would say that it will go. We need to tighten the chain just a slight bit before we go. Also, it's missing bumper spikes, so somebody, I think, robbed them off of these saws before they sold them, because none of them have it. So that's something I'm going to have to do if I want to play with them, because I don't know. It's just handier when they have the bumper spikes, I think. Especially when you're bucking logs, you know. Plus, as a collector of anything, I like things when they're loaded down with accessories, you know. So, that's what we're gonna do. All right. All right. So XL12, Super XL is what it is. Yeah. This one's the Super XL. It has potential. So we're gonna try it here in a minute. Now, Super XL automatic. It's a little loose, but whilst we're here, let's tighten her up a little bit. I'm getting a little optimistic though. I never even checked this one yet for spark or anything, but while I got the tool handy, let's just go ahead and okay. Let's give this one the same treatment. This one I know the oiler works because it oiled on the table, or on the wagon when I was at the auction, just playing with it. It made a mess on the table, so I know it was working. I found a commercial for these online from back in the day when they came out with them, and a catchy little tune. It's kind of stuck in my head. I'll have to put that in.
Homelite, Homelite's done it again, done it again. They brought you a brand new lightweight chainsaw called the Super XL12. World's lightest direct drive chainsaw with super power, so handy and so small. You'd never dream at all that the Super XL12 has so much power. Cuts a 10-inch oak in 10 seconds flat. Drops 4-foot trees just like that. Come in and see the brand new Homelite, the Super XL12, world's lightest direct drive chainsaw with super power.
Only 12.5 pounds less bar and chain.
Let's see if this one's got no spark. Of course, I'm not doing any. I need to be doing something better here. See, this saw it probably still has points in it, I don't know. In which case, we can get a coil that does not take points. And that's what I would do, because on points. Oh, it had a little bit of a spark there. I'm just having trouble getting it where I can hold it. I could hold it and pull it and then light up like a Christmas tree, but I'd rather not do that. But I'm running out of choices, so that might be what. Oh, come on. No, it ain't gonna go there. Come. Well, you stay put. I don't know. Weak spark on that one. I don't know if I really want to dive into that one today. I don't think that that's gonna do it. Of course, before pulling it over, I should have lubed it up. I might have ruined it now. Oh no, my God. If I ruined it. Compression's good, spark is questionable. I'm not pulling my guts out on it, so we'll table this one. Because that was not a blue spark. And I just bet you it ain't gonna run. Plus, I noticed something at this auction. There was a ton of chainsaws of all different brands, and they all have the same lot number on them, which means they came from the same place. And a lot of the ones that ran, he wrote good or run good on the handle. This one doesn't have that. So That tells me it has something that needs straightened out on it. Now here's the old boy, the XL12, the first one. And check it, this is cool. It has the original Homelite style plug and connector. It's different. So this one I'd like to try to keep original, if such as possible, you know. But I'm betting that it's gonna end up being dead and I'll have to replace it. But it is cool. Would be neat to keep it. That one. Shorty plug. That's just so cool. Just little things like that, you know. Oh, that one's at the end of it. Uh-oh. The recoil's kind of messed up in that one. Recoil's kind of messed up. Let's wedge that in there and see. We ain't getting no sparkage out of that one. Yep. So that's a future project, as I figured it would be. We'll try to sand on the points and, you know, do all that and see if we can make this one live with the original stuff, because that's just cool. But I'm betting that's probably past its day. But it's in excellent condition. I mean, these saws really, for what they are, that's kind of why I went this route and bought them. Just because they're cool. I mean, this one's still got pretty good original paint, where you can see the slogan they were highlighting, because this was the world's lightest direct drive chainsaw. Only weighed 12.5 pounds when it came out, and that was something compared to the old big ones like what we were working on the other day. So anyway, this one's not terrible condition, you know. It's got some bad aluminum death happening here. That should probably be cleaned off of there and stopped, but hopefully it's not too late. But yeah, a majority of the saw I think would clean up if a guy didn't want to repaint at all and could just get some stickers for it. But I don't know if I'm gonna go that in depth in all these saws. I'd like them to have good stickers where you could read them, and I'd like them all to run. But that one, the oiler works. I can hear it putting out up there. So at any rate, so far we've got one out of these. I never did try the little, we can give it a quick look at. Super easy, pretty rough. I ordered a new one of these, or a used one that was better. It's not cut out and has good decal on it. So, you know, I'm not saying that any of these are worth anything. It's just something that I think is neat. Dad worked at the farm store and he sold them when he was in high school. So that's another thing that's kind of neat about them. Because he was at the sale and we were talking, he's like, oh yeah, he said, I sold them. He said, I know what you're talking about. So let's see if this one has any coil life in it. I don't know how I'm going to do that, but I don't think so. A lot of times, like, the muffler's a good place to ground because it's rusty. The painted surface maybe not so much. Nothing. So it needs work, as I assumed that they would. I did not assume that they would be runners right out of the box, which is good, because then that's more content on rainy days and we have nothing to do outside. We can work on saws. All right, let's fix up our friend here and get it ready to see if it'll cut something. The old saws, Homelites, use 16:1, which, like our modern day, the Stihl saws use 50:1. The later Homelites use 32:1, and a lot of guys say 32:1 is good enough for these old ones. I'm going to be somewhere in between because I got a bottle that does 32:1 in a 2-gallon can, but I didn't fill the can quite full. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to pour it in there and we're going to hope for the best, you know? It's not rocket science. I don't like the safety spout on this little can, but I bought this blue can just so that I know and don't forget that that is the more mix for the older saws. And my little red can is, yeah, you know what I'm saying. So can we do this without making a mess? Probably not, because it's got some stupid government design where I'm about ready to bust it off of the, I mean, they made it where you just practically can't do nothing. They are so dumb. Alright. Probably not a good idea to fill it totally up when it's going to sit most of its life, but that is the way she goes. This is a manual oiler saw. Even though it's a super, it has the freeze plug where the manual oiler pickup or the automatic oiler pickup would be. So it says under the, I'll have to pull that off in a second for you to see, but it usually says under the air filter instructions like operate oiler frequently. I do that every single time. This one must have not been totally empty. Haven't used the old Homelites in a while. I'm not used to the tricks yet. Okay, we're gonna see if we can get it started and if we can cut some wood with it. But now, of course, when we want to do this, the oiler's not playing great, but it will still work for today. There we go. Give it about half choke. Almost. can you expect from a old saw? That's pretty good run for something that who knows when the last time it ran is. And kind of neat, cutting with a saw that, you know, is probably 50 years old at least. So, sure. Will it start right back up? No. So maybe nobody cares, but I think that's kind of fun. Every so often, take an old saw, cut a few pieces of wood, but that runs pretty good, and it's got pretty good power. That's a 20-inch bar. So, you know, but that was back in the day when you didn't worry about, geez, now the camera's getting too hot. That's typical when the sun's out. You just can't win. But as I was saying, most people probably don't care, but I think it's fun to play with the old saw. And it did pretty good. I need to get a little bit better chain because it's not, you know, A1 perfect. And we need to fix the O-rings on that oiler because you can hear it sucking air past there. But pretty good for an old saw. Pretty good power because that was back in the days before pollution control nonsense. So, does pretty good, you know. We could try the 170, although you've seen it cut, and it's not that big a deal, but while we're here, let's give it a few cuts to compare. It's a lot smaller saw, though, than that, really. I mean, as far as power-wise, I think, so. Can't hardly get to it. Full chisel chain cuts a lot better. Plus it's sharp. So anyway, that's what I want from all of these. I want to be able to, I'll get a good chain and have them ready to go where I could take them out and actually do something like that, you know? So, I don't know, like I said before, may not be everybody's cup of tea, but I like the old saws. Just something fun to play with. So that's where we'll leave this one. As always, if you enjoy my videos, give them a thumbs up. Leave a comment and tell me how dumb you think I am. Or if by some slim chance you liked it, say that. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.